Okay. It's my pleasure this evening to welcome Koon Chung, who will be speaking tonight at the Six Faces of a Socially Responsible Architect. Koon has many experiences, many different backgrounds, both as a writer and also having started a magazine here in Hong Kong, in addition to a background in film and critical theory, is one of the key critics in my eyes within Hong Kong today, as well as within China as well, and touching upon Taiwan. And he really raises very interesting questions about how architects should face our future and some of the responsibilities that architects also face within the profession. And we really want to invite him here to speak more on his thoughts and hear more of his thoughts regarding this. It's really crucial that architects really start to think differently within the world, and that our own responsibilities extend far beyond just design, and it really touches upon many different aspects of life. And so I think the essay that he wrote for our Biennale Blueprint was really laying down very important groundwork for this thinking as well. So it's my great pleasure to introduce and have you here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm really glad I can be here. This is my first time on this part of Hong Kong, West Kowloon. I must apologize for I have to conduct this thing in English, and I never did an unscripted speech before in English. But so probably I can turn it into a kind of dialogue among us instead of me talking all the time. And since my essay on socially responsible architect, it was printed on the pamphlet, maybe we can just start talking anything that comes into our mind. It's very fashionable now to talk about generations in Hong Kong. Mine is the generation of the 50s. That means a post, how do they call it? 50後, that I was born in the 50s. My generation was also a very creative generation. We were sort of rebellious, and we imbibed this kind of Anglo-American values of counterculture. So we are all into peace, friendliness, justice, and equality. So something happened when we moved into society in the 80s. And we sort of dropped some of the values that we took in when we were younger, as during the counterculture time in the 60s and 70s. When we came of age in the 80s, we were very much into careers and then into money. We were sort of kidnapped by this kind of market fundamentalism that really swept everybody in Hong Kong in the 80s. We, like everybody else, our thinking was very much influenced by these developers. So, though we were from a very creative and a rebellious generation, we became more conservative as we move along. Some of my friends started their career as an architectural student at Hong Kong U or other places, and then moved into architecture. I think this is one of the earlier generation of locally trained architects. So architects are also part of my generation. There are many architects that are also from my generation. And they, at one time, they are almost like a vanguard in terms of heralding these new aesthetics into Hong Kong. I always look up to them because they always seem to know better, have a better taste, for instance, and know all the newest trends and novelties from Europe, Japan, and North America. But they are also part of my generation, as I've said. And their value also, their values are also fused with the dominant values of Hong Kong of the time. In the 80s, as architects, they are part of this money-crazy society, and their clients are either from the government or from developers. As a matter of fact, they are closer in terms of their vested interest to developers and government, and as in comparison to, say, medical doctors, who could be serving many people from many different classes. So what I'm trying to say is architects also share many values of our generation. And as our generation move to become the dominant force in Hong Kong, architects also move along. Why I'm saying this is now we are trying to talk about socially responsible architect with social responsible ideas. Hong Kong has reached a stage where we are rethinking our values. Our generation are on the way out now, but we're still very much in many of the dominant positions. And the values of this generation has to be critically examined. And the younger generations are doing that for us. So architects also have to rethink as other members of our generation. Since I'm a friend of many architects, and I've been working on a magazine that helped to promote the celebrity status of many architects, I think I'm in a position to be more critical about architects, and I don't think they will hate me for that. For the longest time, local people do not talk about architects. They talk about real estate. Architectural firms with 100 years of history, over 100 years of histories, like Lee and Orange, were seldom known, if at all. And the architects working for that firm was not a celebrity by themselves. We don't even know their names. And many of the buildings were gone, but there are still many. There are still some very fine buildings by firms like Lee and Orange or other old Hong Kong architectural firms. But we don't talk about architects as a celebrity. And real estate, it was really dominated by developers. So I'm very happy to see that now we are talking about architects as stars, celebrities. I welcome this trend. This is a very recent phenomenon, even in Hong Kong. Even in the West, where architects probably enjoy a higher personal status than, say, in Hong Kong, this trend of really adoring architects or adoring celebrity architects didn't start until probably late 80s with events like the Museum Modern Art, New York Museum of Modern Art exhibition in 1988, where they celebrated several deconstructionist architects, the big names that we all know now, Zaha Hadid, Ram Koolhaas, whether Frank Gehry was in it, I don't remember, but there were 8 or 9 really big names. Then they became bigger after this exhibition. This exhibition sort of pushed the status of big architects to a new level. People are more aware of them, and people tend to talk about them.